In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a plastic repair on a plastic fuel tank the right way, where it doesn't leak. So this is a polyethylene tank. Typically, you can look around them and you can see the markings, and that will identify the type of plastic. It's really important to identify your type of plastic. Now, we're using the Polyvance system of plastic repair with their hardware and their training as well. I'm Polyvance certified, so you can try this at home, but just make sure that you have the right stuff. We went to the manufacturer of this tank, and it was Summit Racing, and it said in the product description that it was a polyethylene. Now, there's the thermoset polyethylene and a thermoplastic polyethylene, and it didn't say which one. So we had to do a little bit of detective work. And the way it comes down to is that a thermoset, meaning that it's cross-linked, is it will sand and it will powder. And a thermoplastic acts like ABS, and it'll kind of self-heal and melt into itself. So we determined that it was a thermoset polyurethane plastic, and then we chose the appropriate rod, which was the low density polyethylene from the Polyvance equipment that they gave me, and then we went to work. So the real trick here, just like welding, you can't just get one hot piece of metal and drop it onto the cold piece of metal and expect it to stick. It's not going to do that. You got to get both pieces of metal hot. The same thing happens with plastic. They've both got to be in a molten state, and then you introduce the rod into the plastic and add heat, and then hopefully they'll blend together if you've done your homework and chosen the proper plastic rod and identified the plastic substrate that you're working on. This was a 1/2-inch diameter hole that was just part of the molding process, I guess. Anyway, my buddy Ian didn't want fuel coming out of his fuel tank, so he asked me if I could plug it up, and I said, sure. So here's what we did. I started bridging over the hole with the molten polyethylene rod, the low-density polyethylene, or LDPE rod from Polyvance. Now, there is a Polyvance video. Go to polyvance.com. They've got all kinds of great training tutorials, and you can find out all kinds of great knowledge from them. But I used my training that I did down at their facility and just followed the instructions using their nitrogen plastic welder setup. It works really, really super nice. So I just bridged over the hole. I forced enough material down into the hole to where it will mushroom out on the backside, since I didn't have access to the backside, and then let it cool naturally, and then ground it all flat and made a nice cosmetic repair. I didn't need to replace the texture on this particular piece, so I didn't. This is going to be covered under a bunch of sheet metal covers that Ian has made on one of his off-road rigs, and that kind of completes the repair. I did a pressure test. I put a air fitting into another hole that I drilled where his fuel hat is going to be, and did a low pressure test, did the spritzing of the bubbles on it, and sure enough, it doesn't leak. So anyway, there you go. Fun repair. It really helps to have the right equipment. You've got to get the plastic in a molten state before the plastic filling rods will stick to each other. And in my opinion, Polyvance has got this game down pat. They're the best system out there. There's other plastic repair systems, and for a lot of my career in automotive, I've used structural adhesives to varying degrees of success, probably because I didn't properly identify the substrate. But Polyvance teaches you how, and I've got some upcoming plastic repair courses that I'm going to be integrating into my Paint Education University stuff, and it's big fun. Big fun stuff. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this.